Ladies and gentlemen, new week, fresh energy of shows following the glorious Heisman Memorial Trophy presentation over the weekend. This is the hottest form of Alabama football talk with yours truly, Stephen Smith. On the end, my own words, touchdown, Alabama Magazine. Congratulations are in order for Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray, as he became the 83rd member of the Heisman fraternity, winning the award over Tua Tagovailoa of Alabama and Dwayne Haskins of Ohio State. Oklahoma fans excited, Alabama fans ticked off, Alabama players and some members of the coaching staff very much so ticked off, as everyone is wired for Saturday, December 29th, as the Tide will battle the Sooners at Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida, for the college football playoff semifinal game at the Orange Bowl. In other news, Tagovailoa winning Sporting News Player of the Year, joining his accolades with the Walter Camp Player of the Year Award, the Maxwell Player of the Year Award, and him being named Southeastern Conference Offensive Player of the Year. In terms of Alabama football head coach Nick Saban, he's been named a finalist for the George Munger Coach of the Year Award, which is off the Maxwell Football Club, Saban winning the award in 2016. And in terms of recruiting, Alabama losing sight of five-star offensive lineman Clay Webb, who has given his commitment to the Georgia Bulldogs and head coach Kirby Smart, but the Tide still in play for five-star Evan Neal, which if it lands Neal, it would pair him with Pierce Quigg, Tanner Bowles, Amari Kite, and Darian Dalcourt. So, alongside of Clay Webb, still has a chance at Evan Neal, and Alabama also in play for five-star running back Trey Sanders out of IMG Academy. But I feel like there are 5 players on this team that will take the Oklahoma game personally in terms of their personality and trying to up the ante a little bit. Now, the entire Crimson Tide is not going to overlook Oklahoma just due to how the Heisman Trophy was played out, but I feel like 5 guys in particular want to up their level of play. And one of those 5, you start off, Mack Wilson at inside linebacker. He has not had the season he envisioned himself having, nor the season others thought he would have. I've gotten a chance to talk to multiple sources close to Wilson's camp. He had a lot of goals written down prior to the start of the season, including winning the Butkus Award that goes to the top linebacker in terms of high school, college, and professional ranks where the National Football League goes. But Devin White ended up winning the award from LSU. Mack Wilson was not even named a finalist. Wilson had goals of being the first inside linebacker taken off draft board should he declare for the National Football League. With White winning the Butkus, how Josh Allen has played for Kentucky this year, and Ben Burr-Kirven out of Washington in the Pac-12, a tackling machine. Those 3 garnering way more attention than Wilson. And just seeing how he's posted these tweets on social media hinting he's coming back, I think Mack Wilson wants one more year just to show college football fans, NFL scouts, and people around the football landscape he is the best linebacker in the business. So, with that being said, Wilson's going to take this game serious in his film study and getting guys lined up in the right spots, getting the calls on the field correctly. He's going to take this game seriously in terms of filling his gap assignment, making sure there are no coverage busts on the field. This is a huge game for him because he did not really start watching film for real until the middle portion of this season. And NFL scouts take film study very seriously. So for Mack Wilson, this is a moment for him, a launching pad for him to show next year for 2019 Butkus Award, I'm coming for it. And for 2020 NFL Draft, I want to be the first inside linebacker taken. This year, Mack Wilson, 63 tackles, 4.5 of those for loss. He's got 5 pass breakups, 6 quarterback hurries. Good numbers, but he wants to show he's the best of the best, and it's going to start in this matchup against Oklahoma. Mack Wilson's number 1. At number 2, sticking with the linebacker position, but going from inside to outside where the edge rushers are concerned. And though I expect a big game, and though I expect much live practice from Terrell Lewis, the second guy I'm going to mention here, freshman Eyabi Anoma at 6'5", 245 pounds out of Baltimore, Maryland, the 5-star. Bama fans, we have all come accustomed to, under Nick Saban in postseason action, there's always that one freshman that sets the stage where media and fans are concerned to show them what's to be expected from them for years to come. Trent Richardson showed it, Mark Ingram showed it, Derrick Henry showed it, Amari Cooper showed it, Calvin Ridley showed it, Minkah Fitzpatrick showed it. A number of different freshmen have shown in postseason action when they set the stage for what's to be expected of them for years to come. And I think this time around, Eyabi Anoma is that guy. The last few months I've seen him in practice, during the weeks I've gotten the chance to check him out, the footwork is there, the technique is there, the hand placement is there, the power is there, the athletic ability has always been there, and this young man is mentally locked in. Taj Lupoi continues to see the growth, the progression, the want to, the determination. It's all there for Anoma. And just the ability, the possibility of just watching him come off the edge and clean out the likes of Kyler Murray at quarterback. I mean, could you imagine Anoma coming off one end, Terrell Lewis or Christian Miller coming off the other end, and Quentin Williams coming up the middle and supplying that pressure to Kyler Murray? That's something to deal with. That's something for any offensive line to deal with, let alone Oklahoma's offensive line that has a dangerous task in trying to neutralize this front. So I look at Eyabi Anoma, judging off what prior freshmen have been able to do in the postseason. He's the next guy, in my opinion, that's going to come off the edge, that's going to create havoc, that's going to have a big say in the college football playoff. A lot of people are already comparing him to be the next Derek Thomas in terms of great Alabama pass rushers or elite Alabama pass rushers. I'm not going to say Derek Thomas just yet. I'm taking the baby steps with him. I'm going to say he's the next Tim Williams for right now. Can they get to that Derek Thomas level? Possibly. There's hope there. There's a chance. But we're taking the baby steps here. The next Tim Williams 2.0 or Tim Williams 2.0 will be the next move for Eyabi Anoma. This season, 9 tackles, 2 of those for loss, and 1 quarterback hurry through 11 games. He's my number 2 guy here. Moving on to the number 3 guy, in my opinion, that I feel like, personality-wise, taking the Sooners seriously. Let's go over the secondary and pick up Patrick Surtain II, the Florida native here, another 5-star kid. When he came in, when he enrolled in that 2018 signing class, the comparison for him was Minkah Fitzpatrick. A lot of people felt like he's got the IQ of Minkah, the physicality of Minkah, the instincts of Minkah, the tackling prowess of Fitzpatrick, and a lot of those things turned out true. A lot of those things turned out very accurate. Now, Fitzpatrick, more the interception machine in his first year than Patrick Surtain was. Fitzpatrick, more of the All-American type player, first team-wise, versus Surtain. But this year, a lot of opposing quarterbacks did not test Surtain's side of the field, did not throw on his side. And that speaks volumes of this young man at 6'2", 202 pounds. This speaks volumes of his coverage ability, his physicality, him being in perfect phase, and him locking on to some of the better weapons in college football. Surtain this year, 33 tackles, 24 of those solo stops, 8th on the team. He's got 1.5 tackles for loss, 6 pass breakups. He's got 1 quarterback pressure, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception through 13 games. Did make the All-Southeastern Conference freshman team. In this matchup, he's going to have to take on the likes of either CeeDee Lamb or Marquise Hollywood Brown should he play. Rumors out there stating that Hollywood Brown has a foot injury, knee injury to leg injury, and that it's being made lightly. It's being taken lighter than what people actually think it is. I want to see Hollywood Brown play so that there's no excuses being thrown from Oklahoma's side of the coin here. But in terms of Patrick Surtain, he's been lights out all season. He's going to face the challenge of playing either Brown or CeeDee Lamb. He's the third person, in my opinion, that's going to take this game highly personally. Moving on to number 4, we get to the offensive side of the football, where we pick up running back Josh Jacobs, the most complete back on the team. Damian Harris is good, stealing sights for his goal to be the first back in school history to record 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. That goal is still intact. Najee Harris is a wrecking ball, built like Derrick Henry, running style a lot like Eddie Lacy. Brian Robinson has shown when he has an opportunity, he can make some things happen, but Josh Jacobs is the most complete back on this roster when it comes to running the ball in between the tackles, catching the ball out the backfield, underrated pass blocker, and the things he can do as a return man. He fits today's mold of an NFL back. And like Mack Wilson, there are little tweets out there from Josh Jacobs hinting he could possibly be back for a senior year. Now, will he come back? That remains to be seen, but he is hinting that on Twitter. Josh Jacobs this year, 1,064 all-purpose yards through 13 games, 495 yards rushing, 171 yards receiving, and 398 yards come via kickoff return. He's got 14 total touchdowns this year, 11 of those rushing. Was the Southeastern Conference MVP for his performance in the Tide, getting a 35-28 win over the Georgia Bulldogs in Atlanta. But when you look at Josh Jacobs, when he runs the ball, the physicality of him running the football, finishing off runs, plowing through tacklers, juking guys out of the way, finishing runs strong, dragging guys with him, wanting that extra yard. We all know he's explosive in open space, but wanting that extra yard and getting Alabama in that favorable down and distance, that's what he does. And just looking at the Oklahoma defense, where it does not rank in the top 50 in any major defensive category. It's not in the top 50. Josh Jacobs, his physicality against this front line of Oklahoma, he is going to look to gash, slash, pound, wear down that front line. He's number 4. And 5th, and most importantly, that will take this game personally, comes no more than Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. He's had an incredible year. 3,353 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, 4 picks, single season school record, 42 touchdowns responsible for this year. I can go on and on about the records. I'm not going to do that. Here's a young man that his family uprooted over 43,000 miles to come from Little Island in Hawaii to the University of Alabama here in Tuscaloosa. This was the same man and his family, where his family witnessed their son, their guy, reinvent the way you think about Alabama football. And then the same family, his Ohana, comes to New York for an opportunity to win the Heisman Memorial Trophy. Tua Tagovailoa walks away from the PlayStation Theater without the Heisman. That's going to stick in the back of his mind this entire game playing Oklahoma. According to reports from the presentation, athletic trainer Jeff Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, they got the clearance from the medical staff to have the walking boot taken off his left leg where his ankle is concerned. Should he be cleared to have that walking boot off for practice and for the college football playoff semifinal game, look for this young man to be as healthy as you've ever seen him, slinging the ball up, down, around the football field against an Oklahoma secondary that, aside from Parnell Motley, who leads the team with 3 picks, not really that good at all. So Tua Tagovailoa, based on him not winning that Heisman, he is going to come to this game healthy, fired up, ticked off, slinging that ball all around the football field. So I'm going for this again. My 5 guys that I feel like personality-wise is going to take this game to account and is going to up the ante with their style of play. Mack Wilson, number 1, an inside linebacker. Yabi Anoma, number 2, an outside linebacker. Patrick Surtain, the second, number 3 in that secondary at corner. Number 4, Josh Jacobs at running back. And number 5, Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. Taking our first break here on In My Own Words. When we get back, we touch on how Alabama will handle its offensive coordinator position in the offseason, with Michael Locksley going to the Maryland Terrapins at the conclusion of the playoff. Don't touch that dial, folks. We're going to be right back to In My Own Words.